Dirk Nowitzki reaching the 31,000 point mark with his patent fadeaway, Tracy.
That's a lot of buckets, and he definitely hit a few of those on me in his day.
There's no other way to do it, right?
No.
One-legged German engineering, it is lovely.
He's saying that this year he doesn't quite have the legs to do that as often, so he's got to really pick his spots when he breaks it out.
He picked it well.
You know that he knew.
1,000?
He knew.
Oh
31,000.
That's a lot of buckets.
That is severe. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols. Our insider Kevin Arnovitz back with us, and the Hall of Famer, the very crisp Tracy McGrady.
Very
crisp, right? We've decided we're crisp today. There we go. So last night, both Houston and Golden State won, which was neither a surprise nor, if you watch the games, even particularly suspenseful. There may have been a point earlier this season where the Warriors were so bored they looked vulnerable, but we seem to be well past that now. They've even returned to exciting activities like playing defense. Please note the Wizards only made 8 shots the entire first quarter last night, and Kevin Durant barely broke a sweat, dropping a game-high 32. As for Rockets Clippers, well, anyone who had hoped for the edgy game we got last time was sorely disappointed. I mean, yes, we did get, the magnificent crossover from James Harden, which looks even more incredible on the Phantom Cam. So I'm going to let you see this. The pause, the look of disgust, and then he licks his lips, people! Lick the lips! Forget the 60-point triple-double last month. This may truly be James Harden's MVP moment.
That's no blood.
Ooh, still, the rest of the game was kind of a dud. The Rockets even policed themselves to make sure no hallways were stormed. Our Ramona Shelburne took this picture in a back corner of the Houston locker room. Yes, that is the door that leads to the famous back tunnel, and apparently the Rockets equipment manager taking no chances last night. The win did push Houston's streak to 14 games, their second one this season, and more importantly, the Rockets are now 31-1 when their 3 best players all play, which is a big enough sample size it should scare anyone, including, Golden State. Yes, the Warriors, who for much of the season have behaved like, the queen bee in the high school cafeteria who can't be bothered to be noticed or be nice to the new girl. I love Mean Girls. Come on, you gotta love Mean Girls. Anyway, it seems they are finally getting a little jumpy about Houston getting closer to securing that #1 seed. The Rockets are already a half game up on the Warriors. The Rockets are already owners of the season tiebreaker on the Warriors. So it's really 2 games of ground Golden State would need to make up, and that may be why we got this little gem from Klay Thompson last night. Quote, "We're really trying to win every game going into the playoffs. Might be unrealistic, but it would be nice to do that." And Steph Curry seemed to agree with him, adding, quote, "We haven't run off a long win streak in a while. Would be a nice feeling going into the playoffs." Let's take a look at the Warriors' remaining 20 games, shall we? First of all, they play the Phoenix Suns 3 times. So that makes this whole thing seem possible right there. They also play the Kings twice, and the Hawks. Now, they do play the Spurs twice, but at least one of those will be without Kawhi. And they play the Wolves, but without Jimmy Butler. Now, that Portland game back-to-back could be dicey, but still, it is an interesting thing to think about and a very interesting idea. Because while the Rockets and Warriors may be so sharp right now, their games are getting a little boring. The budding rivalry between them is anything but. Now, T-Mac, you hear Klay and Steph say, oh, we want to run a streak off. We all remember 73 and how that ended. So do you think they should try to go for this with 20 games to go?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we all agree this will be their biggest test throughout the playoffs because of the resurgence of the Houston Rockets and how well they're playing. I would love for them to see if they can run off these 22 games. I know everybody would be like, well, what happened when they ran off, those 73 wins in that one season? But, well, let's not forget what happened in the playoffs or in the finals when Draymond Green got suspended. So I'll put an asterisk by that. I mean, I know Cleveland won that, but listen, they had the momentum completely on that. So I think it'd be wise for them to try to get these 22 games because Houston is playing phenomenal basketball. I'm actually scared for Golden State this year. That's how.
Really?
Yes, I am. They need to get this home court advantage because Houston is no joke. They're playing great basketball, and they're much deeper than Golden State in talent.
They need a goal. They need a goal. They are a bored team. They need a goal. Look, I think it's a generally good policy to get off the team bus at 5:30 every afternoon and say, yeah, we're going to win tonight. Like, let's do that. I don't think they should do it at the expense of, pacing their stars. And I think you can do that. You can rest a guy at Phoenix.
Right.
Did you notice the toughest game on that slate? At OKC.
Well, there isn't a game at OKC. There's also a game at Portland on a back-to-back. So I think both of those are going to be tough. And just, I mean, look, when you're traveling, and we know what Portland, how they get up for the Warriors.
I would say is, given, the type of energy and how they played inconsistently, I mean, they still won a lot of games in the first half of the season. But they really wasn't as focused as they need to be down this stretch. And I think, watching them last night, they've turned it on a little bit.
So here's what I was just trying to look up. Our researcher, Michael Schwartz. The Warriors have a 53% chance, this is according to BPI, to win a series against the Rockets if Houston has home court advantage. They have a 62% chance if Golden State has home court advantage. So, by the way, both of those are interesting odds because you would have gone into this season thinking that the Warriors had a 99% chance to win any Western Conference Finals. Houston has put up such an impressive season so far. Now, it's kind of a coin toss no matter where it is, but the numbers say that there is a somewhat significant percentage difference depending on who's floor and who gets that #1 seed.
I mean, that's enough incentive right there. I mean, there's 10 probability points, essentially. Right. So, yeah, all the more reason to do it. Again, I don't want to see guys playing 41 minutes. I mean, that's
right.
Like, that's my concern.
Right. Well, we can trust Steve Curry's keeping that in mind, too. Absolutely. I want to get back to James Harden's nasty step back against Wes Johnson last night. I know you've seen this by now, but please, it is worth enjoying many, many more times. Tracy, where is this on the disrespectful level, please?
Well, the move itself, I mean, we see that all the time. That wasn't really a tough move. I mean, he's got weak ankles. But the disrespectful part is the staring down, the pause, licking the lips.
He licked his lips!
That's the most disrespectful part. The move itself wasn't even that.
I'll tell you what I thought was the most disrespectful part. He actually takes his shooting hand off the ball casually, like, oh, do I have my keys or my phone? I mean, I have so much time here to marvel at the sheer conquest and the humiliation I've evoked here in this situation that I'm just going to kind of casually, all right, good, I can come back to this.
This is on him, kind of.
Like, look, taking the shooting hand off the ball.
Yeah, and Wesley knew himself that he messed up.
Right?
Because he went down smiling like, oh man, he got me.
Somebody save me. Look, nobody even walked over there. Montrezl Harrell could have made a little bit of a move.
They're getting Theodosic, I must go.
Right?
What are you doing, buddy? What's going on with you? Like, yeah, that disrespectful part was the glare down.
I actually asked him last night after the game. I was like, it almost seemed like you thought the play was dead. He's like, yeah, I was waiting for ref to call side out of bounds. Like, I mean, I didn't know what was going on.
Sure, he didn't know what was going on. James Harden had no idea what was going on in that moment. I totally believe that. Now, of course, you get the Hallelujah chorus on Twitter. He pushed off, he traveled, oh no. What do we think, Trace?
I just think Wesley got some weak ankles on that play right there. he shoved him a little bit, but not enough to push him down to the ground like that. No.
To the school marms, this is what I say. Like, artistic license is one of the greatest things. It's what makes the NBA so great. Right?
Thank you.
Like, better than football, better than baseball, in my opinion, is you get a little bit of artistic license within reason. I mean, I don't think you should just flout the rules at every turn.
Correct. But there's the rules like traveling, rules like pushing off. I would not say it's a hard line. It is a wavy line, and that wavy line in the middle probably depends a little bit on how you do it, what you do for it. Are you hitting a game-winning shot to win a playoff series in your last moment in a Bulls uniform? We give you some license.
Oh, y'all just going.
This right here, Tracy McGrady. Are you pushing off a little bit on these moves? I don't know.
No,
I'd say nothing. Zero, right?
But then he came down on the other end and dunked on the whole team. But no, that was no push off.
We're not showing that.
We're
showing just your move.
No, it was just, one great against another.
Right, it's fine. LeBron was saying that this morning after shoot-around. He was saying this is part of what makes our game sizzle a little bit. Also, like Luke Walton. Everyone's commenting on this today. Luke Walton said today that he got crossed over much like that through much of his career. But he said, I was so slow, I didn't even fall down because I couldn't even make it to the fall down. So, different players have their own perspective and spin. Looks good, though. He licked his lips. The man licked his lips.
Yeah, that... Yeah, the aftermath was pretty damaging.
That's all I got to say. Our fantastic producing staff here at The Jump. of course, began discussing the most disrespectful ankle breakers. Here's what producer Bodmer came up with. Number 3.
Oh, man.
1997.
Ron Harper.
Mighty
I remember that one.
Mouse dropping Ron Harper. That is disrespect, my friends. Number 2, Steve Francis.
Oh, he toyed with him.
Ooh, just kept bringing Troy Hudson back.
I like these more than the ones where you fall down. Like, well, the guy is just completely deked and behind the play. Like,
Right?
I like that more.
Chris Paul kind of had one of these the other night. And by the way, number 1, in 1994, J.R. Ryder flat out disrespecting Willie Anderson.
Oh, Willie, hey.
A little pause there, too. I would like to see that again. Thank you very much. Little laugh on the way back.
Oh, man.
The pause, the look. And there we go. Oh, he traveled. Someone in the studio just screamed he traveled. Thank you, Gina. Can we get done with the travel police, too? Paul Pierce is always yelling traveling on this show.
Well, Paul Pierce always traveled.
Traveled. He traveled.
Yeah, Paul, I said it.
So, projection on his part, apparently.
Oh, there we go. Coming up, Marc Gasol unhappy with the Grizzlies' losing streak. Should he embrace the tank? We will discuss. But first, here is a distant replay. This date, 2002. Kmart. Well, Kmart.
Kid on the handoff. Back to Martin. Right over Mutombo.
Come on, D.
That team was fun.
Not only did he dunk on him,
Come on,
he looked
D.
at him and said, not in my
I think
house.
Kmart could still do
waved
that
the
right
finger
now,
at
by the
him.
way.